This photograph was taken by Tom Francis in 1895 or thereabouts, according to Merton Memories. It accompanied an article in the March 2nd, 1933 issue of the Mitcham Advertiser, which has only recently been put onto the British Newspaper Archive. In this video I'll be reading out the article from that newspaper that was written by Tom Francis. Old Mitcham, old slough mill which stood on the Wandle at Mitcham. Besides having a reputation for trout, for scenery and for historical associations, the River Wandle should be commended for its industry. It may be difficult for us now to believe the claim that nearly 200 years ago the Wandle ran through England's richest industrial valley. As far back as Domesday record, there were 13 corn mills on the river, 2 being at Mitcham. In 1610, 24 mills were at work, and the area was the chief seat of flour milling near London. Later there were 38 mills, more to the mile than any other river in the country, employing 3,000 hands and doing many other jobs than corn grinding. So industrially important was the district that a canal was planned from Rotherhithe via Croydon to Mitcham to carry the products of the various works. A canal eventually got as far as Croydon. The first railway, the Grand Surrey Iron Railway, built for a similar purpose, was constructed from Merstham via Croydon and Mitcham to Wandsworth in 1802. Tobacco, we are told, was introduced to England by Sir Walter Raleigh, and he is credited with setting up snuff mills on the Wandle. There were several in our locality. Mitcham became world famous for its shag. The hoary, picturesque representative in the photograph produced was at Mitcham. Having done its bit, it peacefully awaits dissolution. In this old mill, young trout were reared to stock the stream. Close by stands the flock factory, where felt used in pianos and also for cardinals' hats was manufactured. Toilet soap is now made here. Another neighbour was an old flour mill which went in flames and was replaced by the present mill, now the Fibre Works. At this fire, it was that the old Mitcham fire engine, the Squirt, under the command of John Brown, put up such a gallant but unequal fight. The engine was pulled into the river, and the scratch brigade, standing in the water, pumped for all they were worth. Hot work this pumping, but if throats got parched, feet kept comfortably cool. John Brown had no use for brass hats, nor brass buttons. Jackets off, sleeves rolled up, and a bowler hat completed the equipment. The Squirts were housed in a building adjoining the old cage, both raised to make way for the vestry hall. Other important industries were the manufacture of bolting cloth for use in the flour mills, calico bleaching and printing, fulling and dyeing. When water power gave way to steam, the local works lost their importance, and a big strike in Mitcham was the last straw, and much of the work went north. The water of the Wandle was found suitable for leather dressing. Wash leather and parchment are still produced. The workers, called skinners, gave their name to the Skinners' Arms at Bennington Corner. Silk weaving was introduced by Huguenots early in the 18th century at Merton Abbey, as was also the manufacture of felt and beaver hats. The quality of the water induced William Morris to found his famous works at Merton Abbey for silk dyeing. Stained glass and tapestries of worldwide repute have been produced. The Merton Abbey Burns-Jones tapestries, illustrating the legends of King Arthur, were sold for £4,600. Queen Mary visited the works in 1914. A copper mill once at Merton was responsible, we are told, for the cross which surmounts St Paul's Cathedral. To go back again, cannon and shot appear as a Wandle industry. The charcoal burners of the village of Croydon, who supplied their product to the smelters of iron ore, gave cause for the phrase, "as black as a Croydon collier." Many new industries have now been established in the Wandle area, not dependent on the quality nor quantity of the stream. The curious will still find, along the river banks, tumble-down buildings and worn-out water wheels, picturesque in their decay, giving evidence of the use once made of Wandle power. Methods and ideas change. The important of the past is the neglected of today. Men may come and men may go, but Old Man River just keeps rolling along. Thank you for listening to that. That was an article by Tom Francis in the Mitcham Advertiser, 2nd of March 1933. If you like this video, please press the like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Bye for now.